Oh, I don't like the way how dark it is. Well, it's gonna have to deal. It's gonna have to do for right now. I know it's a little dark. Can y'all see me pretty good though? All right, y'all can see me. I know it's a little dark, but we'll work on the lighting some other time. But I haven't had an opportunity to go live on my YouTube, so I definitely want to go live now while I have the opportunity to do so. So allow me to open up first. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah. Muhammad is His messenger and exalted Christ. And I further bear witness that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is the extension of the Son of Man. I would like to greet every brother and sister with the greeting words of peace, which we say in the Arabic language, Assalamu alaikum. Peace and blessings, family. This is your brother Knowledge 5845 on Instagram, brother Winford X of the Waxahachie Study Group here in Dallas, Texas. This is my YouTube page. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube page, go ahead and do so now. And the YouTube subscription is Winford X. And what my page consists of is being determined to change. All right. The reason why that I'm opening up as a student of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, because I do nothing. I mean, I repeat, I do absolutely nothing without opening up with the divine representation of what has allowed me to come to life, meaning being able to understand the reality of God thus far in my life, knowing all the things that I've been through. If it was not for the life-giving teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, guided and taught by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in my darkest moments, I would not be able to have a light to find my way to love myself, to having the knowledge of self and having the knowledge of others, and most important, having the knowledge of the time that we are in right now. So it's an honor to be a part of the Nation of Islam, and it's an honor to be able to strive to have a universal knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, not separating me from my brothers and sisters because we have different titles, but being able to bring us together, knowing the ultimate goal and the ultimate mission and assignment is to allow us to have an understanding to where we can create better opportunities for ourselves as we live, and be able to set up and create better living quarters and better civilizations for unborn generations to come. And this is how you birth a God. This is how you are able to establish and bring paradise here on earth as we live. All right, brothers and sisters, but let's go ahead and get into what I want to talk about today, right? And basically, really, what I would love to talk about is just I went live earlier today on my Instagram. Again, I haven't had the opportunities to go live on my YouTube channel, so I've been working a lot. You know, I've picked up more hours, I've picked up more days. My profession is security, so a lot of times, you know, I'm on assignments, but when I have the opportunity to come in front of you, I definitely want to be able to have something to say of substance that we could take back and we could uh, listen. We could feed and we could chew on that and we could digest that and marinate on what's being said through my inspirations of the reality of God coming through myself. Man, is just so much has went on. My son has passed. My 22-year-old passed actually a month ago. All right. Actually, 1 month ago, my 22-year-old passed. Y'all already knew. If y'all know my story, been keeping up with me. A lot of that determined to change come from the situations of me doing 15 years in a federal penitentiary at the age of 19, not getting out until I was 34 years old, leaving behind a child that wasn't even born yet. The mother of my child was 7 months pregnant when I went to prison, and when I came home, he was 15 years old. So, and you know, the reality of that is being saturated and being raised by the streets, being raised by an unseen hand, not understanding the reality of cause and effect. I didn't get to understand that until I went to prison and until I was already incarcerated. So thank you for the condolences. Thank you. So we're always trying to figure out and find out what is our purpose. All right, what is our purpose in life? Man, we go through so many tragedies. We go through so much pain. We experience loss of life, and we experience things in our own personal life that hurts. And we're asking the questions to ourselves, and we all raised up in the churches, and we're raised to read the Bible, and we're raised to listen to mama, and we're raised to listen to grandmama. But really, once we still look at the condition that we're in, we're still lost. We're still lost, and we're still looking for answers. We're still trying to figure out, is God a mystery? If God loved me, why would he allow these things to happen to me? And if God loved this and that, why would he take this person away from me, and all these types of things? These things have to be answered. These things have answers to them. But if we don't never take time out to be patient, to listen, and understand the power of our mind, we will never be able to receive the answers that we're all searching for. We'll never be able to solve the problems. Okay? So my live today is speaking about the mind. My live today, the title of my live is "The Only Reality That Exists Is You." What do I mean by that? That's a heavy question. That's heavy to say. The only reality that exists is you. I know some of you may be wondering, how is that? And my mom is existing right here. My dad is existing right here. My children are existing right here with me. My best friend, my cousin, the people I grew up with, everybody is existing with me. Not so. The only reason why you are the only existence is because your spirit in your mind is alive and well, and the vessel that is wrapped around the mind that God gave you is functioning. You're able to function from the mind that is in that this body is wrapped around. Okay? And that mind, that high intelligence, comes directly from what we call God. Me being a Muslim, in the aspect of we say Allah. But to go deeper, but yet, even though going deeper, I would like to simplify it for you. What I want you to start doing is, I want you to start listening to motivational speeches. You can go to YouTube. You don't have to pay no money for that. I know a lot of times we want to take up curriculums. We want to take up different functions, and we say, well, I don't have the money. This is free. This is absolutely free. If you have a smartphone, if you have a phone and you have access to YouTube, you can personal develop yourself. It doesn't cost anything. Only thing that you're doing is paying for your monthly bill with your cell phone. But the YouTube, that access is free for you. Brothers and sisters, nothing is more important than self-improvement. Nothing is more important than personal development. I don't care what your situation is. I don't care if you're having financial problems. I don't care if you just lost a loved one. I don't care if you just lost your job. I don't care what situation that you are in or what condition you are in. Do not think that you cannot come out of that. As long as you're breathing physically, you can come out of that situation. So therefore, the title of the live is "The Only Reality That Exists Is You." Your mother cannot change your reality. Your father cannot change your reality. You can say all day long, oh, I love my children. I do this and that for my children. I go to work to feed my children. I do all these types of things to feed my children. If my child was to die, I couldn't go on. I wouldn't know what to do. Well, let me tell you something about that, because now I have been put in the category of losing a child. I remember at a time when I used to see people grieving, mothers grieving, fathers grieving because that child was killed. I couldn't feel that. I couldn't understand that. I would try my best to try to understand what they were feeling, but I've never experienced that, so I couldn't feel that. But now that I've had to bury my oldest child, I have two boys. Well, I had two boys. I had a 22-year-old and I have a 3-year-old. Having to bury my son, that was my baby. That was my child. Very numb feeling. I take it one day at a time, highs and lows. And you would think that people text me all the time and say, man, you're handling it very well, brother. You know, you're already back on YouTube. You're already back on social media. You're already back speaking. You're already back going live and being a motivation to other people. You're already back inspiring people. Man, how do you do it? And I say, what do you mean? What, am I supposed to crawl in the casket with my son and say, oh God, no, take me with him? Let me tell y'all something, man. We always say, oh, I wouldn't know what I would do if my child died. Oh, I wouldn't know what to do. I couldn't go on. Yes, you could. Yes, you could. That's just an expression of how much you love your child, but you would have to go on. It's not your time. It's not your time to get in the grave. In due time, your time will come. But when there's a death, there's a power that switches in you if you have an understanding. See, but if we're not trying to seek the God, if we're not trying to seek the reality, if we're not trying to understand how the only reality that exists is ourselves. That is the God inside of you. God has chosen you to represent him, the only reality. You are a vessel of many vessels of God. So when you say, oh God, no, don't take my child, take me with him. God is not pleased when we act like that. I want you to hear me, family. God is not pleased, because when we act out like that and say, oh, I don't know what I would do without my children, that we are abandoning our own self. And when we abandon our own self in that process, we are abandoning the reality of God. Does that make sense? We are abandoning the God in us. Nothing else matters but my children. God is saying, wait a minute. What about the gift that I've given you? And do you know what that gift is? That gift that God has given us is being able to come into existence as a human being. We have to reflect on the God. We have to reflect on the reality of our existence down to the deepest core of understanding. This is how we're able to go on. This is how we're able to utilize a loved one's death, and we're able to abstract the energy from the one who passed away. And we're able to carry that with us, and we're able to extend the God in us, and we're able to reach new heights because we're showing the God that we were thankful for the loved one that he allowed us to make, not created. Make and create are two different things. God allowed us to be the agents to make and reproduce ourselves. But God is the ultimate creator of all things. Once we understand that, even though we still feel pain when we lose loved ones, it gives us a soothing of understanding to cope with the loss of life. Because we have to understand that the only reality that exists is God in you. So therefore, family, whatever you're going through right now in your life, I don't know you. But whatever you're going through right now in your life, remember, energy is not created nor destroyed. Energy is transferred. There is already a set limit of energy that's already in the universe. Look at the intelligence of the supreme being, God Allah himself. He's already in his intelligence. He set a set amount of energy in his universe. So therefore, the reality of that energy is you and I, human beings. So we are always coming and going in and out of the earth. This is energy. So when we have an opportunity to come in front of one another on social media, on these advanced technology equipment, we are energy being transferred from one place to another. We are able to vibrate on one another's energy, and we're able to motivate one another. We're able to activate and tap into ourselves, into our godness through other human beings. So when I'm telling you about start listening to motivation every morning, go to your YouTube. This is personal development. You don't have to pay $5.99, $1,000 for this course. No. All you have to do is go to your YouTube and start listening to motivation. And if you listen to 5 different motivational speakers, and once you start to understand and you start to observe, you will start being able to hear through every motivational speaker. You're going to start listening to key words. Once you start listening to key words and you start bringing them together and you start putting them together, you're going to be able to start understanding the power that you have. Let me tell you something. See, white people acknowledge the reality of God. They just acknowledge it in a different way than you and I, because you and I were captured. We were indigent servants. We were made nothing. We were made into slaves. We were made to not understand ourselves. We were made to be dust. We were made to be shaped into being servants outside of the reality of God. This is why God is mad. This is why God is saying that he's going to chastise the European race. But even in that, I don't want to lose nobody. Even in that, I listen to Joel Osteen. He's a European. And I embrace the words. I embrace his motivation, because even in him, God is using him as a vessel. Whatever his intentions is, it doesn't have anything to do with me. But God can use who he will and allow that energy to flow out of that vessel. Yes, he's a white man. But that brother, that white man be cooking. In his faith, he's cooking, man. That energy is able to tap into you. And listen, you're not paying for that. You don't have to go and buy no curriculum. All you have to do is have motivation. It does not matter whatever your condition is at this particular time. It does not matter. It can be a loss of life. It can be whatever it is. People trying to bring your past up against you, trying to use your past against you. You have the power in your mind to kill that noise. You have the power in you to remove that in your life. See, a lot of times people see us going forward and they look at their own life and they see that they're not prospering. So they see you doing good. They see that you on the road to success. And they try to bring something up that happened 10 years ago, 15, 20 years ago. And if you allow that to hold you down, you'll be trapped in 2012. You'll be trapped in 2005 when it's 2022. And then you will start looking at your condition and then you will get frustrated. And then you will become miserable. And then you will start hating God, asking God, why is God doing you like this? I want you to understand that the title of this live on YouTube is You. The only reality that exists is you. So we need something to give us a boost. So I'm trying to give you a boost of motivation. I'm trying to give you a boost of inspiration. But in order to get that boost, we have to understand the different languages. In the Quran, in our supreme lessons, Master Fard Muhammad is talking about a bird, understanding the language of the birds. Oh, come on. It talks about the language of the birds in the Quran. It talks about the language of the birds in the Bible. We have to go into a deeper significance of what that means. See, an eagle is a bird. An eagle is able to know that a storm is coming, or when a storm has hit, an eagle can soar even higher than the storm. And it can go and fly over the storm where it's way up there and it's above the storm, man. That's a hell of a thing. That's speaking the language of the birds, meaning that whatever language that you hear coming from a human being from different civilizations, different advancements of languages, God will give you the understanding on how to break the language down and be able to abstract the truth from the language, even if someone is trying to hide from you the things that you need to feed on, a spiritual sustenance to grab so you can be successful. Does that make sense? Those are different languages. So let's talk about going back to motivational speaking. You have so many white people that are always talking about believe in yourself. But when it comes to the Nation of Islam, we say that the reality of God is the human being. Some people have a problem with that. Oh, I can't believe that you said man was God. Oh, I can't believe that you said that God is a man. There is no way that God could be a man. But if you listen to the language, a universal language from motivational speaking, you can listen to 5 different motivational speakers and you can hear the common language. Believe in yourself. So if you're believing in yourself, the highest intelligence inside of you is the God. So if you're believing in yourself, that means that you're able to move mountains, man. You're able to, whatever somebody is saying against you, you're able to protect yourself. You're able to protect yourself by personal development. You're able to protect yourself by self-improvement. The more they come at you trying to stop you from being successful, trying to make you miserable, the more you dig deeper into yourself and believing in yourself, and you go after whatever your inspiration is that God has put in you. That's how you defeat that, by going deeper into yourself. So when you go deeper into yourself, you're getting to the reality of the core of the supreme God that allowed you to come forth as a human being. Does that make sense? Listen, family, I want to go over a few points with you, if I may, so you will be able to understand and see that the only reality that exists is you. Let's start with this first saying. Fear can make you give up something that God wants to use in your favor. That's another common word in the different languages of motivational speaking that you hear people talk about. The word fear. The reason why we become stagnated, the reason why that we procrastinate is not because that we're lazy. The number one reason why we procrastinate in getting things done is because there is a hidden fear in our consciousness, in our subconsciousness, that if I try this, I'm going to fail. If I try this, I'm not going to be able to get it done. Words are powerful. You have to think it first before you're able to literally say it. This is why the most honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that always think 5 times before you speak. I'm going to say that again. Think about that. He says to think 5 times before you speak. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad is a scientist. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is a scientist. He's not just saying to think 5 times before you speak just to say it. They understand the flow. They understand the formula of how the brain and how the mind works on a mathematical, scientific, physics level. They understand the brain waves. They understand the molecules in the brain and in the mind, and how the mind is created, and how the universe is the macro and the human being is the micro connected to that. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was speaking about how you can speak things into existence and you can pull them from the universe from your thoughts, and you can bring them into existence. Let me tell you something. Ever since I started watching the motivational speaking, every time I hear key words, I'm visioning myself. You have to put yourself there first, even though in your current condition, you're not there yet. But start visioning yourself 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Start visioning yourself being healthy. Start visioning yourself speaking to others, operating in your purpose. Don't you know that when you do that, you are already opening doors in your future? But what distracts us is the here and now. We're not able to have telepathy. We're not able to go into the future and bring it back and manifest it. But this is the reality of God. See, white people already know this. But why God is mad at them, why God is angry with the white race, he's angry. Why? Because they figured it out. They know this. But they don't want you and I to know that. They don't want you and I to be able to operate and be able to go grab things in our future and bring it back so we can walk into our future. They don't want you, and they stripped that away from us, but our ancestors already knew that. See, the white man, the Greeks, they stole it from the Egyptians. They stole that and knew and said, okay, we gotta hold on to this, and we have to feed on this. And we'll create an illusion for the 85% of the blind, deaf, and dumb of the population of the human family. And we will keep everything for ourselves. They did that. They had 6,000 years to rule and to do the right thing, but they did not. This is why their world is coming down. But yet and still, you hear guys like Joel Osteen, Father Flavin. These are Europeans. But they're able to pull on the world in a righteous way. So when you pull on the world and the universe in a righteous way and you have good intentions, then you are able to have a successful future. We all deserve that. You deserve that. So this is why I'm telling you right now, the name of this live is the only reality that exists is you. So that means once you figure it out, once you get your mind set and say that I'm able to do whatever I want to do, yes, it's going to take a process, but get off inside of the process right now. Start listening to motivational speaking. When you go to sleep at night, go to sleep with listening to it. Wake up while you're cleaning up around the house, have the radio on and have motivational coming to your consciousness. Have it coming to your subconsciousness so it becomes a part of you. And now throughout your day, you're going to start remembering and you're going to start thinking about things that motivated you. And you're going to start running into other people and things that your mind has recorded. You will start feeding them from your energy and you will connect with their energy, which is the God in them. And then when they walk away, look where your credit is coming from. You're getting blessed by the universe. God is bringing things into your existence, into your touch, to where you're able to be successful. This is real, family. I don't do this for entertainment. This is not for entertainment. This is straight motivation, inspirational, determined to change. Yes, you're going to lose people on the journey to being determined to change your condition. Yes, you're going to lose people, but even in losing them, if you're still breathing, God has allowed that to be a lesson for you. Did you hear me? All praise is due to Allah, man. I just want to be able to inspire, family. Second thing, let's go to this. Sometimes the gift that God gives us isn't always to our pleasing. I'm going to say that again. Sometimes the gift that God gives us is not always to our pleasing. See, we got to know how to recognize the gift. This morning on my Instagram live, I used a diamond for an example. Actually, I used a red diamond, the red diamond that I have, because a lot of people always ask me, man, you got a red diamond on you. What does that mean? What is the significance and the representation of the red diamond, the red ruby, that jewel? What is that? What does that represent? Well, a red ruby is the rarest of diamonds. A red ruby is the rarest of diamonds. So therefore, when we talk about many are called, but only a few are chosen, you have to see yourself as being chosen. You cannot normalize your own life because you have to remember your mind is very, very powerful. So if you start to put yourself in the position of, man, I'm here for a purpose. I don't want God to just think that I'm just here without value. Because in the Quran and in the Bible, God says that if you're not going to utilize the gift that I gave you, I can easily remove you and put someone in your place. That's a hell of a thing to think about. So when God say fear him, that's what he means. Fear God in that regards. Fear God in that respect. Because if we're here, we have an opportunity to find our purpose. What am I here to do? I'm going through these things and I have these tragedies. I have times in my life where I'm joyous and I'm happy and I've helped people. What is my purpose? Why am I here? It's nothing wrong with thinking of yourself as when you hear many are called, but only a few are chosen. Why wouldn't I want to put myself in the category as one of the ones being chosen? But with one of the ones being chosen, it's a lot of work that come with that. You got to put the banisters up. I talked about the banisters this morning on my Instagram live. I've heard you say that before, brother. You talk about putting the banisters up. What do you mean putting the banisters up? When you go off into a gymnasium, when you go off into a professional elite arena of a team, you see the championships in those. You see those banners with championships all on those in those arenas. And when you look at them and you say, "Wow, this is a hell of a team," they don't have to say anything to you. All they have to do is show you their banisters and say, "We're true champions. We have 8 championships." We don't have to tell you that. You can see it for yourself. You see the muscle. So that means that whatever we want to achieve in this life, we have to go after it. We can't be afraid. We can't be tied down with fear. We can't be tied down with a pessimistic mindset, a way of thinking. Or if I do this, I'm going to fail. I never get nothing right. If you continue to think like that, then guess what? That's going to be your reality every single time. And by the time you know it, you're going to look up and success has passed you by. So we have to start looking at small things, looking in the mirror and being honest with ourselves. What do we see? What is looking back at us when we look in the mirror? What is looking back? Start right there, man. Start right there, family. What is looking back at me when I'm looking in the mirror? To me, that sounds like self-improvement. That sounds like personal development. Let that be your protection. Let that be your armor. When people come against you and backbite and slander and say this and that and whatever they say, allow your self-improvement to dig deeper in yourself. Believing in yourself, allow that to be your protection. Allow that to be your armor. A lot of times we have gifts in us, and sometimes we misabuse the gift because we don't even know how to even understand the gift that God has given us. Because we're so caught up on everybody else. We're so caught up in backbiting and gossiping and slandering other people when God have a gift laying right up in us. God is not pleased. God is not pleased. Do not allow the fear of the unknown to keep you at a stalemate. But instead of moving in fear, proceed with caution. I'm going to read that again. Don't allow the fear of the unknown to keep you at a stalemate. But instead of moving in fear, proceed with caution. Don't allow the fear to dictate how you move and how successful you can become. Sometimes people can think about our past or whatever the situation. I got this orientation coming up with this job, and we fear. And the first thing we do is we beat ourselves up and we allow that fear to take over. We don't get the job. We allow somebody that's miserable to allow us to sit on the couch and join them with company in misery, because misery loves company. All they want us to do is sit on the couch with them and beat ourselves up because they're beating themselves up. You don't have to do that. Any situation that you approach, just proceed with caution. Don't let the fear stop you from moving forward. Don't allow the fear to stop you from growing upright in a vertical position. Last but not least, the question we have to ask ourselves: are we choosing comfort over calling? All of us have a calling. But are you too comfortable? Are you satisfied where you at? Because the fear is keeping you stagnant. The fear is keeping you at a stalemate. You go ahead and look at your situation and say, oh, I'm comfortable here, so I'm just going to stay right here. But you have a calling that God has instilled in you. You allowing the calling to die. God is not pleased with that. God is not pleased with that. So we talk about the only reality that exists is you. Once we start, I want you to say that every single day, brothers and sisters. The only reality that exists is you. You go in the mirror and you look at yourself and say, this is it. This is the reality of your world. When you pass away physically and die, you're not going to have knowledge of your children, your mother, your grandmother, the people you love the most. The knowledge of them is gone. But we get mad when we talk like this and say, well, brother, how do you know? I don't believe that. I believe I'm going to see my mama again. I'm going to believe I'm going to see my grandma again. Well, that sounds like you're selfish to God. Because God is saying, who told you that? Who told you that you was going somewhere else and you're going to see your children again? You're going to see your mama again. You're going to see your grandmama again because you love them. Didn't I give you a gift already? Didn't I give you the greatest gift that any human being could receive? Coming in the world as a human being, what other greater gift do you want? What other greater gift can you receive but life itself? I close with this. I heard a guy say one time, there are the most two important days of your life. The most two important days of your life. The day that you were born and the day that you figure out why you're here. Those are the most two important days of your life. The day that you was born and the day that you figure out why. Go after your purpose. Start with motivational lectures. Start listening to motivation in the morning. 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. Allow that to become a part of your reality. And watch how your mind start to change. You start certain things, distractions, things that you can control. Things that you don't need in your life that you can control, get it out of the way. Now watch this. Things that you cannot control, you can still control from your mind. Because once you understand that that is out of your reach, I can't control that, yet and still, I'm going to control me. Because I understand that those things I can't control, but yet and still, in my existence, I will control them. It takes a hell of an understanding to be able to do that. And it takes the reality of God and you understanding that the reality of God is not just in Jesus Christ. You can't focus so much on Jesus Christ to where you're not even focusing on yourself. Because the Jesus Christ that you're focusing on, he's the example to show you, I don't need you to focus so much on me. I'm showing you what you have in you. Yes, don't worship me, follow me. That's what Jesus Christ says. Don't worship me. You only worship the Father that is in me. What does he mean, in me? The same access of intelligence that's in you. That's what he means. I'm just an example, so follow me in being the best me, believing in myself, because that's where the God is activated. So brothers and sisters, I thank you for sitting with me on the live. I only had 2 people come in, 3 people come in. Praise be to Allah. I'm not here for the audience. I'm here to inspire. I'm here to motivate. I'm here to pour out what's in me. I pray to Allah that Allah is allowing me to be led on my purpose, my journey. So brothers and sisters, if there is anything that I've said that rubbed anyone the wrong way, that's not my true intention. But if there is something that I said of benefit, understand that it comes directly from God, Allah, through me. I am a student of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I am a student of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, for sure. And I'm striving. I'm striving to find my purpose. And I'm striving to be a vessel to help you find your purpose, whatever that may be. I don't know. But I do know that energy is always being transferred. So I want to be able to do my part. So with that being said, may Allah continue to bless every last one of you in your families, on your endeavors, on your paths. May Allah continue to bless you. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube page, subscribe to my YouTube page, Winford X, WINFORD X. Winford space X. It should pull up my subscription. Winford X. Go back and look at my YouTube videos that I've already posted. Tell one of your friends about it. I'm not trying to turn you into a Muslim. I'm not trying to say nothing bad about the Christians, because we have to go above that. We have to tap into the reality of our existence while we have the opportunity to do so. So with that being said, may Allah continue to bless every last one of you. I greet you in the greeting words of peace, which we say in the Arabic language. Assalamu alaikum.